Like hell I did! Just who are you guys and what the hell are you doing here? This is private studio space. Give me that! It appears as if our beloved CEO has decided, in his great wisdom, to replace our studio space with a bloody warehouse! I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna walk upstairs and I'm gonna kill him. Wait. Actually, I think I recognize this box. One moment. Yeah, these are all my old things. Some old books, some old electronics, some tickets to the SpongeBob movie, and... oh, hey! My old drawing tablet. I wonder if this old junker still works. Well, at the bright side, I won't be going upstairs completely fuming mad. Why don't you stay down here and see if this old thing works? I'm going to go upstairs and have a word with the CEO. Hey guys, Ognajteff here, and welcome to another episode of The Road to the Old Kingdom, where we're building up a village into a civilization. And speaking of a village... so, this isn't episode 4. This is episode 4.5. Because the first half of the episode is not usable as footage. So I went into a little bit of the history of the period we're building in, naming the village and all that, and I've also set up some signs you can sort of see there and there of little builds we were going to do in different areas spread across probably 1 to 2 episodes. Unfortunately, this area was all built up and I didn't notice the bad footage until I got to this. So, yeah. Another reason why this video is not coming out when it was supposed to, but rather a little bit later, is the same thing. It's just late due to problems with the footage. And it's better to release a complete episode rather than a half-assed one. Anyway, it's starting to get on, so I just came out here to continue working on this house. But I think my first step will be actually take a quick nap. Now, in other news, I've tweaked the audio levels a little bit, so hopefully this actually sounds better than the last couple of videos shot on this computer. The audio driver, for some reason, is better on one computer than it is on the other. I have an editing computer and a gaming computer. The gaming one somehow is worse, despite actually being the stronger computer. Anyway, just building up the levels here, just a little bit of live building. I'd like to allow myself to indulge a little bit on just what we are doing here. So, I've already built a few houses like I did on that one, which is the adobe brick sort of style. We've got the bricks with some packed mud with bricks to cap it off. In this case, I'll be building more like I did the silos. This is supposed to be representing either rammed earth or wattle and daub. So the reason I'm going to be building in a mix of styles here, probably leaning more towards the current style I'm working on here, rather than those ones there. In fact, actually, that might represent all of the adobe structures that I'll be doing for this little area in the village, is because we have now officially entered the Naqada period. And we are officially building the city of Naqada. So Naqada is actually a special village in that it is representative of 3 different periods in Egyptian history, all colloquially known as the Naqada period. But yeah, the Naqada period is actually very important as we are building the city in which it's named after, which either goes by Nubt, Ombos, or even just the city of Naqada. So the whole idea here being we are going to be representative of the first 3 eras combined. So Naqada is split into 3: Amratian, Gertzian, and Dynasty 0, I guess. So Naqada 3, I think, is just its proper noun. So let's see. I'll put a grass roof on that one. Just sort of going through the different layers, trying to make sure I get everything sort of settled in. Okay, there we go. So we're doing another multi-level house on this one. Oh, I think that was one too high. Oh, no, that was the right size. There we go. So we're doing another double layer house. If anything, this would have actually been the default house style, by the way. So, yeah, these single-level, slightly spaced out houses are all well and good, but realistically, you'd either go something like this, which are more country-styled houses out by themselves in a little compound, or you do something more like this or that, multi-layered houses so you can fit multiple people in the same amount of space. After all, why waste that for an entire family when you can fit 3 families in it instead? There we go. So, I guess there will be for entrance for the people who live up here. I never did grab the leaves that I was going to, though, so just be a second. Whoops, and I just fell. Of course. On the right side, I did finally grab the leaves, and I don't know why I put those up here. That's actually where the leaves are going. So, boop, boop, boop. So the general idea behind this style of house is we have packed mud with the corners being just simple wood. I'm using acacia because that's what's available, but by all means, you can use whatever wood you want. And then, just sort of build up in a rectangular structure like you would the Adobe Bricks one. Still very modular, still very simple. Excuse me. And once again, it's supposed to represent sort of a different style of building. Let's get some windows to make the side look a bit, well, less flat. Let's see. I'll leave that. That's fine, though. Okay, that's enough windows. So, let's see. How am I going to do this? Well, we'll add some features just to make the thing look well. Oh, hello, boy. Ah, my dog's attacking me. Hello, boy. Hello. Yes. Snoof, snoof, sniff, sniff. How are you, boy? You like your scratchies? I'm not sure if this is staying in the video. If it does, this is my dog, Ender. He is a blue Great Dane. And he is a very jealous boy who hates it when we give anyone else attention. Hello, isn't that right, boy? There we go. You've got your pets, boy. Let me continue. There we go. We're just going to create a bit of an awning over the area there. And do I need to put anything up over here? May as well. I'm already covering the rest of the roof. But I have to make sure that it's on the lower layer compared to the rest of the roof, just so that there's a little bit of a height difference. Because when you're building in a modular fashion like this, it's the small details in height and texture and just the various contours you use that you can make or break how the building looks. And of course, light the thing up everywhere, because I would hate for a creeper to suddenly spawn and ruin my jovial mood. And actually, save this for inside, because out here is a bit more lit up already. So, unfortunately, while I have sort of tweaked the audio, and hopefully that's a noticeable difference, one thing I can't tweak right now is my chair, which is still squeaky as ever. And I said I was in a jovial mood, and that is a very ironic thing on account of just how bad my morning has been. First, I discover that the footage for this video is complete trash and can't be used. Not to mention, I woke up irrationally angry. You guys ever have those dreams where you just wake up and you just do not feel like being a nice person today? You just wake up and choose violence sort of thing? Yeah, that was me this morning. I did not have a good morning. But since then, I've had a nice poutine. I've had a lovely sit down. I've reorganized and watched through the footage and come up with a new plan. That being this second half of a video that's turned into the full video. And hopefully things turn out better. After all, if you can't have a good day, at the very least, you can make sure you don't have a bad one. Alright, time to add some buttons for texture here. This first house, I'm going to do the sort of play-by-play sort of thing here. I put those on the wrong level. There we go. That would go there, so that doesn't count. There we go. Technically speaking, actually these wouldn't go there anymore. We'd try and keep them along the same sort of line, so okay, that one can't go there because ladder. Yeah, no. Come on. Oh, not even on the right level. That's why I couldn't get up. That one goes there, and that's clear. Okay. There we go. That's all part of the wattle and daub sort of look, or alternatively the plaster of on top of adobe look. The idea that you have your internal structure, which the wood is, or not wood, the mud is built around. So yeah, that was just a little bit of a how to build thing as I just chatted. And there's one last little thing I need to do here, and that is fit out the house. Just use white wool. 1, 2, 3. Because my basic rule is I have to furnish each house with one of each. 1 chest, 1 crafting bench, 1 furnace, 1 bed. So that away, I'm not just taking the lazy way out of building a bunch of houses and not actually putting anything in them. Houses that belong to me might get a little bit more love than, say, a random house in the middle of a village that I'm probably never going to walk into ever again. But there we go. It's important to still make sure that you put a little effort, even if you aren't really focusing on any particular structure. After all, you don't want to just leave an entire portion of your structure undone. You don't want to just ignore a certain aspect of it just because you don't feel like it. You still have to put a little bit of effort, even if all around it's not like the Taj Mahal or anything. There's one last thing we need to do in this episode, other than a live build, and that was going to be a time-lapse. In fact, all of this was going to be part of a time-lapse after I built the first couple of structures. But now I'm considering sort of stretching this out into doing 2 more things. One's a time-lapse of the area back here, and then one is a sort of semi-construction, because one thing a lot of people do when they're building a village is they're building a complete village, but they aren't building anything still in construction. And given that a large part of the focus of the last couple of videos have been construction techniques, I figured why not do a build that is incomplete, still a work in progress sort of thing. So that way we can show off the various different methods of building. And because we're supposed to be in the Amrician, I believe it's pronounced that way, I might be wrong, period of Naqada, so once again 4,000 to 3,000 give or take, we'll be seeing a lot more of these than we'll be seeing of these. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be the extent of all the adobe houses in this village, or at least on this side of the river. I'll probably build a few more over there, but until we get there, we're going to be sticking almost entirely to this style and these rounder ones here, built more like the granaries. That's what they're called, yes. So, yeah, let's get working on that. Okay, so for today's topic, this is one I really should have actually discussed earlier, as it is both the basis for our first village here and the entire series as a whole, and that is Naqada and Naqada culture. Divided into three subsections, the Naqada period lasted from around 4000 BC to around 3000 BC, replacing the Upper Egyptian Badrian culture and preceding the Archaic period, also known as Egyptian culture. Each period is divided based on the Late Neolithic, or New Stone Age, and Chalcedonic Age, or Copper Age, material present at the number of sites, of which the town Naqada is representative of all three. Amrician culture, Naqada 1, lasted from around 4000 BC-ish to around 3600-ish BC. The period is mostly associated with blacktop pottery found across the Upper Nile Valley, but in particular, El Amara and Naqada, from which we get the period's names. The Amrician period was one of small city-states with intricate trade links ranging from Mesopotamia, Byblos, and the Cyclades through the Nile Valley and into Nubia to the south. Adobe began appearing across Upper Egypt, and villages grew to the increased immigration as the Sahara began to dry out and peoples moved into the Nile Valley. While blacktop pottery is the most common artifact found in association with Naqada 1, figurines, flat disc mace heads, and carved cosmetic palettes are also well attributed to the period. Naqada 2, or Gurzian, was a period of expansion for the peoples of Upper Egypt. Through trade and conflict, Naqada culture pushed northwards to cover the Nile Valley from Nubia to the south up to the edge of the Nile Delta. Corresponding roughly between 3600 and 3300 BC, the Gurzian period is primarily known for the sites of Naqada and the cemetery El Gurza. Along with trade, native Egyptians began to decorate their pots, combs, knives, and other artifacts using animal and Mesopotamian-styled motifs. While some blacktop pottery continued into the period, they were mostly replaced with decorated whitewashed pots. Thus, the separation between Naqada 1 and 2. Furthermore, and interestingly enough, the earliest examples of tomb art and proto-hieroglyphics appeared during this period. Finally, Naqada 3 is the most famous for two primary changes in the society of ancient Egypt. The first being the swap from heavily decorated pottery to simple whitewashed pots. And the second for the rise of political dynasties that would unify the land of Egypt under a single ruler known as the Pharaoh. Lasting from around 3,300 to around 3,000, 2,900-ish BC, the site that is primarily associated with this period is Naqada herself, as well as her local rivals of Thinis and Nekhen. Of these, the leader of Thinis, known as Scorpion I, would conquer Naqada under the reign of the Thinite Confederacy and would begin a series of kings that would ultimately unify Upper and Lower Egypt as one kingdom. Of the three periods, this is the best understood because writing and hieroglyphics had taken on a form and frequency that we are now able to read and translate and understand. Furthermore, there's an increase in statues, figurines, and carvings, and the swap from disc maces to Mesopotamian-styled round maces, all of which have depictions and artwork that we can actually associate with the Egyptian style. The city of Naqada itself, as mentioned, was one of the three major cities of Upper Egypt, being placed in between their rivals in Nekhen to the south and Thinite Confederacy to the west. Naqada was a strong and wealthy city-state as attributed by the wealth of the artifacts associated with it across the Naqada period. And it was also the principal place of worship for the god Set, god of the Red Desert. Well, it would be the first of the major city-states to fall in the wars of unification. It is the symbol of an era of change, trade, and ultimately the rise of the longest contiguous state in Earth's history, ancient Egypt. And there we go. Sorry for the choppiness of that one. Every time I'd get into building, I'd get into a rhythm and I'd keep building. And then I'd remember, oh yeah, I'm doing a time lapse, aren't I? But we've built our a few of our houses, including the one under construction, showing the growth of the city. And then here we got our brewery and bakery with fresh bread in the ovens and, well, I mean, do I have the bucket? No, I don't have a bucket. Could probably go fill that. But before I do anything else, just as we're sort of winding down this episode, next time we'll actually be going across the river, I believe, or alternatively building up that one area in front of the main house, right there. Building up this area. Those are a few of our options. But for now, I'm going to just end this on another custom tree. So, a few episodes ago when I did the other one, I mentioned that I'd try and maybe do a date palm. Let's see, is this tall enough? One more, I'll say. Boop. Alright. There we go. Just trying to get a bit of a structure going. So on the sides, we are going to put just the leaves. And then in between, if you look at a date palm, you'll see these orange seed pods. That's what the red sandstone represents. Because if we look at the bottom portion of the sandstone, it looks like those little pod things. So it's perfect for this sort of illusion. Let's see. And oh god, ow! Yeah, remove the top layer. Instead, probably just do something like that. There we go. And now we can check to see what it looks like from afar. There we go, kind of basic. We could probably add some root structure. Also, how does it look comparatively? I think I prefer just the straight jungle wood. There we go. Although we could still do this. And then add some of this. There we go, that's our date palm. Very simple, but it gets the job done. also, once again, I really like the effect with the sort of cobbly look that the sandstone adds, because that's sort of what a date palm has, is those orange little seed pods. So that's perfect right there. And, yeah, so that's our second custom tree of this village. When I'm wrapping up the village, I'll probably go around and just add various custom trees. I'll probably add just a few minor detailing things, so on and so forth. But until that time, I guess that's it for now. Thank you guys all for watching. This has been Ognajteff, and catch you guys all next time while we continue down the road to the Old Kingdom. See you then.